And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day committed to being your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you understand your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. That is our goal. And every day we're your consumer advocate right here, 4 o'clock in the afternoon drive. Salem Communications, AM 860, The Answer. Also got an FM translator on that. 93.7 is the FM translator. Weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. And we're daily as well on WeBeam TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku as well. Just search Binge Networks and you'll be able to find our TV show at home in your living room as well, or wherever you look at your TV shows and take in that information. So we got a great lineup for you here today on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we wanted to make sure you save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need our number because we're a consumer advocate. All we do is about helping people with understanding their credit, their finances, estate and tax planning, real estate, roofing, and so much more here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So save our hotline, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. We want to engage with you, so we urge you to reach out, text, or call that line. Also, bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. All right, we got Mary Surnicki in the house, Suncoast Roofing. Welcome back in, Mary.
Great to be back. I'm excited to be here. I look forward to sharing some solar tips today. We're doing a lot of solar installs. The end of the year is coming, and they get that tax break if they, purchase solar. So, and we do a Deco-Tech system, which it's a very sleek look to the roof. It's actually part of the whole roofing system. So
nice.
It's not, there's no racking system anymore in what we sell. So
very cool.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that today.
I like that. Good stuff. We got Fred Muth back in studio as well. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome in, sir.
Well, thank you so much. You know, Brandon, it's been a year. You listed one of our properties and you blew it out real quick. I got to tell you, Brandon's the real estate man.
Thank you very much.
Anytime you need to deal with real estate, talk to Brandon. You need to talk to me about patios and pool enclosures.
There you go.
Thank you.
Awesome. He's also a radio personality himself now on the show over close to 5 years now. Over 5 years.
Has it been 5 years?
I think so.
Jeez,
Yeah.
It seems like yesterday. Have we heard that before?
Yeah. Time
flying
flies.
by, man. It's flying.
That's right. All right, we got Mike
Thank you.
Sutton in the house as well. He is with Habitat, Pinellas, West Pasco counties. Welcome in, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brandon. Look forward to chatting a little bit about affordable housing and some of the challenges we're seeing in the community.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Good stuff there. And also always a pleasure as well. We had a awesome TV show episode on the American Dream television show. We highlighted you and also Warwick Dunn Charities.
Yes, sir.
Awesome time down in St. Pete a couple weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah, Warwick's a great guy and does a lot for Habitat and really a big advocate for affordable housing.
Yeah, absolutely. Big time. And the 173 home that he had presented to a family, that was amazing.
That was awesome. It was
173 homes. And I was telling you that video that we posted on Facebook, it's got 18,000 views last time I checked. So
amazing.
Some pretty cool stuff happening there. People love that message.
You're a social media influencer.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. So, hey, also, I want you to save the date. We don't have all the graphics and all the fancy stuff ready yet, but save Wednesday, January 8th in your calendar. This is something you're not going to want to miss. We're bringing Ken Shamrock back into town, UFC Hall of Famer, WWF legend. He's my business partner on a company called the Business Growth Celebrity Academy. So Ken Shamrock's coming in town, also teaming up with Tampa's own Antonio Tarver. So we're hosting a really cool meet and greet opportunity, VIP meet and greet with Ken Shamrock, 5-time world champion boxer Antonio Tarver here in Tampa Bay, all benefiting the Wounded Warriors. So the Wounded Warriors are veterans, are near and dear to our heart. Wednesday, January 8th. The location is to be determined, but save the date. It's going to be an evening event, something like 6 to 10 p.m. or something. Save the date, Wednesday, January 8th for the Consumer Quarterback Show networking opportunity and VIP opportunity as well. This segment is brought to you by Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I love going over to Taps. They got a burger bar. It's a gastropub, 2223 North West Shore Boulevard in Tampa. Awesome beers on tap. They've got happy hours daily as well. International Plaza at Bay Street, right there off of West Shore Boulevard. Awesome ambiance, very friendly staff, and excellent food. The fish dishes are to die for as well. Awesome salmon and tuna that they have there as well. So say hello to the folks over at Taps Restaurant. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and they're going to hook you up with the water with lemon every time. Free water with lemon, that is. So they'll take care of you.
No cold beer?
Yeah, you just mention the name. See what happens.
Let's see what happens.
See what happens. Throw the Quarterback Show around. Throw it out there.
You might get a sample cup.
Yeah, there you go. They do have samples. I can guarantee you they'll hook you up with a sample. All right, so let's jump into it. Oh, I got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about here. We got a property at 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. This is a $2 million listing of mine, and we are looking for that $1 million buyer here at Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. Now, this property, you actually have 2 security gate systems to get through to before you're even on the street. So it's got room for all your toys. Bring your boat. Bay access, of course, direct bay access water, and a great opportunity to own a beautiful property. 6,700 square foot home here in Tampa Bay at 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. So I've got another beach property here on Mandalay Avenue as well. This one is a little more affordable at $699,000, and it's priced below the comps. 861 Mandalay Avenue on Clearwater Beach. This is a gorgeous property. 200 steps from the beach. You walk 200 steps, you're on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of beautiful North Clearwater Beach here in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, let's talk roofing with Mary Surnicki from Suncoast Roofing. Normally you hear Chuck Peterson on the show.
Yes, I sent him down south actually last night to go take care of some stuff for us. So he was like, you're gonna have to go to the show. I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Awesome.
I'll do it. Yeah.
There we go. So what's happening with Suncoast Roofing? You got the solar opportunity now?
Yeah. So we're a Master Elite installer for GAF, and being part of that program, GAF has come out with a Decotech solar system that is actually just part of the roofing system now. So it's so nice. It's so sleek looking. It's actually really beautiful, and it's part of your roof. So there's no racking system. There's no penetrations into the roof.
Wow.
It literally lays completely flush with the shingles.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it goes right. We put 2 layers of peel and stick right down onto the decking, and then the solar, it's like a big giant skylight that we flash, and it goes right onto there, and then the electrician comes and hooks it up.
Wow.
Yeah, and we flash it, and we shingle around it, but it's all one system. It's part of the roof now.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And Suncoast Roofing knows what it means in the real estate industry to have an inspection come back with a minor issue on soffit or fascia, something along those lines, or maybe you got some tile that need to replace. And you guys understand that from a real estate agent perspective. A lot of realtors listening to this show, mortgage, title folks, kind of in that investor niche, a real estate niche. So talk to us about that. You guys understand that it's important to get that property to hit the closing dates. People are depending on the moving.
Absolutely. There's so many times that the roof they negotiate that during the closing or before the start of a sale, and we have a certain length of time to get that done. Yeah. We go out. Sometimes they give us a report, from a mitigation report or a 5-point inspection, and then we have to go out and we have to take care of those issues. And we do it quickly, and then we furnish them back the information so that they can either sell their house or look to buy. So, and it gives a lot of the sellers a lot more power in the industry when they've taken care of some of those issues, before they're going into, before they have that home inspector come out.
Yeah, that's super awesome. We're talking with Mary Surnicki, Suncoast Roofing here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And when it comes to a warranty, if I were to tell you, you get a 50-year warranty, 50-year warranty, GAF Master Elite. Wow, that's awesome, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? People are like, oh, well, I'll never live that long. And I'm like, I understand that. But what happens is if you're going to sell that house in 5 or 10 years, that warranty is fully transferable to the next owner. So that gives you more power when you're selling your home. Yeah. So it's an awesome feature. It's backed by GAF that's been in business since the 1800s. So, you get 10 years from Suncoast Roofing, and then GAF picks up the rest. It's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. Especially when you look at the ability for roofing. Now, shingle's the most popular. You find shingle the most popular, more affordable, more, I guess, maybe accepted by certain HOAs and things.
Right.
And then you get tile roofs, and you also have the metal roofs.
Absolutely. There's a lot of HOAs, though, and a lot of communities that have a lot of tile roofs now. So there's a lot of tile going in, or there's a lot of metal that looks like tile that's going in. It's just kind of the standard. Definitely down like in Naples and Bonita Springs, we have an office down there.
Yeah.
Most of it is, I would say 90% is all tile. In the Tampa Bay area, I would say probably 85% is all shingle. Then you go into North Florida or around the beach communities, it's definitely metal, so it just depends where you are and what you like, you know.
And budget-wise, it's a little bit more,
Absolutely
affordable in terms of shingle.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
It is, and you get a longer warranty with the shingle.
Yeah,
than you do with the tile and the metal.
Exactly. So you do free inspections as well if somebody has a potential issue. This is the time of year, by the way, when it's not raining monsoons.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing. And it's so funny because like right now we're doing back-to-back installations because this is the time of year that you want to install a roof because we're not going to have, there's no rain, because when we're tearing off a roof and there's a summer storm that comes in at 2:00, things can go a little tricky. So you want to be with a licensed contractor that has the experience, that knows how to deal with that, and that's going to rectify any problems that we have during installation.
Excellent. Yeah, more from Mary coming up in our lightning round here on the show. We got Suncoast Roofing in the house, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, and also Mike Sutton, Habitat for Humanity, Pinellas County, West Pasco counties here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we have our feel-good story of the day as well. We have a church that pays off $7.8 million in medical debt for nearly 6,000 families. Find out about that right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and check out consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week of 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and changed them.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm a top realtor in the area as well, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. And we love to promote our real estate properties here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. 1810 Citrus Hill Lane in Palm Harbor. This is a gorgeous property, and it's very affordable as well, just under $300,000 priced here. You've got a screened-in pool in the back, a fenced-in yard, and property at 1810 Citrus Hill Lane in Palm Harbor. Awesome area, great location. You're between Nebraska and US 19, a lovely community here, and got the this is a great opportunity to move in. The house has a no salt water filtration system, as well as the previous owner is a master plumber and water specialist at this beautiful property on Citrus Hill Lane. We've got another property, 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. This is a property that is in Bayport area, town and country, on a freshwater canal that leads out to the bay. So bring your boat. You got bay access. You can boat to dinner. There's several restaurants there by the Courtney Campbell Causeway. A large lanai, huge lanai area, screened-in pool, pavers. Great opportunities here. Check out our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, they are a first-class organization. They did a great job with my family's move, and they will do the same with yours, whether you're planning a local or long-distance move. Reach out to Brothers Easy Moving. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. And we have our expert contributors here in studio, Mary Surnicki, Suncoast Roofing, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum in the house. And coming up next is Mike Sutton as well, Habitat for Humanity. He's the President and Chief Executive Officer, Habitat of Humanity for Pinellas County and West Pasco counties as well, coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Fred Muth, the Tin Man in the house. Welcome back, sir.
Mary, you're a terribly hard act to follow. I don't know. I'm lost for words. I don't know
I
what
have to
do.
follow you, and I save you.
All right. So this is a payback. It saved me. Thank you. You mentioned with the HOAs, of course, with the shingle and versus tile. I understand that. Is there any restrictions regarding the solar panels with the HOAs?
No. So here's the thing. So Florida, I think 2 years ago, passed a law that the HOAs can't turn somebody down for solar panels.
Good. Boy.
It's actually a law.
I wish they would do that in our business.
I know.
Freedom doesn't ring in the Tampa screens or the screens in aluminum.
What's that?
I was saying freedom rings, the solar,
sure,
but not for aluminum buildings. And screen rooms.
They're the HOAs are sort of tough. I want to tell you, I don't really disagree with the fact that that you have to have approval for what you're doing. Being in the real estate business, it has to conform. Whatever you're building needs to conform with the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Has been situations where HOA people that work with the HOA where they're not very familiar with certain products and engineering wise, which creates a problem.
Yeah.
And then of course eventually it's approved, but 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 weeks may go by and people are going back and forth. In some cases we even get the building permit before the HOA approval based on the unusual products. When they approve only a shingle roof, and they'll allow the composite panel roof to go with a shingle on the top. Do you do any of that? Have you ever done that?
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah. And of course the pitch, you have to pitch it correctly.
Yeah.
And it becomes sort of a pricey nightmare at that point when you have to put the shingle on the composite. And I don't really like the fact that people are putting shingle on a composite, although it can be done, because I do believe they can blow off a lot quicker.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
They can.
Yeah.
If it's not secured down to the decking, you do not have that wind protection.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. But, some of the HOAs, people want a covered area, and they'll only allow the shingle over the composite, and if they don't get that, then, of course, they only allow the screen roof. Okay, we'll sell either one, but some people want more covered area out back. And then the other option would be to have a contractor come in and just build out the back of the house with more wood and sheathing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in some cases, I totally agree with the HOAs, but they do flex their muscles a little more difficult, make it more difficult for the screen companies in a lot of cases. Permits are still the next concern that we have. How you doing with permits?
I do great with permits.
I mean, are you getting them quick?
I get them within 3 days.
Yeah, see, that breaks my heart,
I know. We're really we've got it down
6 to 8 weeks in some cases.
We've got it down to a science, and we know exactly who we're sending the application to at most of the municipalities we work with.
Nice.
Right. But the difference with us, obviously we're building structure. So when there's structure, we're changing the footprint of the property, which you're not doing.
No, absolutely not. We're just doing a re-roof.
With the roofing. So these are the hurdles that we deal with on a daily basis. And, I'm kind of used to it after 28 years.
Yeah.
But you're an expert, so yeah.
I'm not an expert. That gets me in trouble. I walk in, people say, you're the expert. Uh-oh, I want to walk out.
If you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Bryant. We're talking with Fred Muth here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. You hear Mary chiming in as well, Suncoast Roofing. But Fred, we talk a lot about the the real estate market. So I pulled a Case-Shiller index. Case-Shiller is a composite of the top 20 cities in the United States. And it was interesting when we're looking at it says the 10-city composite annual increase was 1.5%, unchanged from the previous month. The 20-city composite rose 2.1% annually, up 2% from August. Now, here's what's interesting.
Wow.
San Francisco was the only city in the composites to show an annual decline in home prices. So San Francisco is down 0.7%, so less than 1%. Now, on a national level, prices rose 3.2% annually in September, up 3.1%. Skipping down a little bit, it says, of the 20 cities covered, Phoenix, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Tampa, Florida saw the highest annual gains with 4.6, 4.5 annual gains respectively.
Sure.
So Tampa's still one of the top.
It's like a skyrocket.
Tampa Bay.
It's continuing to go, and I don't see an end to it at this point. I see it possibly leveling off a little bit. Mm-hmm. But as far as a decline, I don't see that. How about you?
No, yeah, and I was talking on the phone with the vice president with Keller Williams Realty International, Jay Papazan. He wrote the Millionaire Real Estate Agent books with Gary Keller, Market Shift, and I asked him that specific question because I've got my book. I'm trying to get more of a launch on it with the Business Growth Celebrity Academy with Shamrock. But I said, Jay, we keep hearing these things about a market shift coming. What's happening? We're not seeing it. He said, well, it starts on the coast. He said, traditionally, you'll see it start on the West Coast and the East Coast, so more like New York City, Boston,
sure.
And then we just saw that with San Francisco slowing down a little bit because those are where you're seeing the highest dollar spend, New York City, San Francisco, those types of cities. But yeah, here in Tampa Bay, over 40 miles of beautiful beaches, awesome pro sports teams, so much in our economy that are driving people here. And it's a better alternative to the East Coast of Florida. You look at the East Coast of Florida, Miami, you throw Miami right there in the lump, with the traffic and the things happening there. Tampa Bay is a much better option, in my opinion.
Well, it's better compared to New York. If you think about it, a lot of people don't realize this. In New York City, you're paying 3 taxes on your income. You're paying municipal tax, you're paying city tax, city wage tax, and you're paying state. That's right. Let me see: municipal, city, state, and of course federal.
Yeah.
So it's three or four they're paying. I've heard if you made $100,000 and lived in Manhattan, you're broke.
Yeah.
You can't afford to eat basically.
Yeah.
That's
I agree.
tough. Now down here, if you're making $100,000, you're doing pretty good.
Affordability is it's a much different scale down here. Our average 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage home, 2,000 square feet. That's going to range you anywhere from 180, 170 on the lower end. 220, 250, depending on the neighborhood. That's just a rough estimation. You take that same number, you throw that in a New York or a Boston or a California area code. Much different scene.
Yeah, you're at 400.
Sure. Yeah, much different scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and of course the real estate taxes. Oh, unbelievable! Mm-hmm. From there to here, I don't like to brag about what I don't pay down here. I mean, it's amazing the limited amount of money that we pay for our real estate based on where I came from, the Northeast.
Yeah. That's why you see people leaving California in droves going to Texas and Florida and Alabama.
And there's actually more people. I just saw this, that there's more people that now live in Florida than there are that live in New York.
Yeah. We surpassed New York about a year ago. I think it was a little while ago on overall population. So now we're the second largest state, the third largest, Texas, and then California. So California's number one, Texas number two, then Florida's number three.
Well, we got to get our infrastructure in shape in this area. Let's get it going, guys. Come on. I almost was late for the show because of all the trucks and traffic and red lights. Come on, give us a break, will you?
That's what we need. We need some of those underground. In areas you can have that. I don't know where you can do it.
No underground. It would just they need to just start triple decking these highways here.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have triple decked highways in other cities.
Yeah,
and it works.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of our weak points here is the infrastructure. East west, especially going east west. You see that a lot. So. Hey, we want you reaching out to our expert contributors. We got two of the best here that we're talking with. Mary Surnicki, Suncoast Roofing. You've heard Chuck Peterson on the show. All your roofing needs, reach out to Suncoast Roofing. And we also have Fred Muth, the Tin Man, a.k.a. the Tin Man here. Tampa Screens and Aluminum if you're looking to put on a lanai, patio, screen room. It goes by so many different names. The in-between space, we call it before.
Space works.
Yeah, exactly. So that in-between space, awesome opportunity to have that. So reach out to our expert contributors, consumerqb.com. And when we come back, Mike Sutton, Habitat for Humanity President and Chief Executive Officer here, Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas Kent and West Pasco counties here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember it.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and changed them.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. Mm-hmm. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife and I own and operate the Platinum MVP team, just featured in Real Producers Magazine as well. For the magazine, you have to be doing over $10 million in volume to be featured in the magazine. We're doubling that number this year. So we had a great time with the interview. It's more about how our community involvement, how we're helping out with local charitable organizations and getting involved. So if you're watching our TV show version, you see the gelatin plunge. Imagine a young kid getting to slide down a slide into a pool full of Jello gelatin. I guess you can't say Jello, but it's gelatin. But that's a fundraiser that the Children's Cancer Center had. So we have a lot of fun with that. So we're back here in the studio. Our goal is to help you win as your consumer advocate. Over 80 categories of consumer advocate content and advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And before we jump back into this great content, I want to let you know about a couple of vacant land listings. If you're looking to build a home, we've got a couple of great opportunities for you. 12231 Garden Lake Circle is a vacant land parcel of property that we have here, and it's an opportunity to build on a lake. It's a beautiful lot, gorgeous lot here in Tampa Bay. One of the highest income areas of all of Tampa Bay is Odessa, Florida. Shopping, great schools, malls, Gulf of Mexico beaches, all close proximity as well at 12231 Garden Lake Circle. Owners motivated, and they've got a lot of the paperwork together as well, so it makes it real easy when a buyer's looking to develop property. 15676 Mahoney Drive in Spring Hill. 15676 Mahoney Drive in Spring Hill. This is another golden opportunity, almost 9 acres in the subdivision of highly desirable subdivision of Shady Acres. And it's mostly in a flood zone X, so totally buildable. You got lush, ancient oaks are present on the property. Lots of wildlife, including deer and a variety of birds. And the property is being cleared and is fenced all the way around with a brand new gate, and is ready for you to build your dream home. Call today. Owner is motivated. 15676 Mahoney Drive in Spring Hill. Reach out to our hotline, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline. All right, we got Mike Sutton in the house. Habitat for Humanity. Welcome back in, sir.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man. So we talk a lot about the getting the community involved. As a consumer advocate, we want to support organizations like yours. I mean, making the family dream come through, the American dream come true for many families. And I think let's start there. How can the community get involved? How can we support Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas and West Pasco counties?
Well, I think when you think of Habitat for Humanity, there's just so many opportunities to bring the community together, right?
Yeah.
So, we're building affordable housing all throughout the footprint here, and we need thousands of volunteers to make that happen. So we use volunteers on about 50% of the homes that we construct. And so each house translates into a couple thousand volunteer hours.
Wow.
So we're always looking for people that could come out and lend a hand and swing a hammer with us, looking to give back to the community. So there's a huge need for that.
Yeah. Because that takes away the excuse for some people. It's like, oh, I don't have the money. I had a down year. I didn't make as many sales.
Sure.
But that takes away the excuse, waking up. Yeah. And I remember I was interviewing the Reedy family, and that was what Andres said. He said, waking up on a Saturday morning, I'd much rather, stay at home. Or he said, but, making the effort to get up and go volunteer to help build other people's houses. And then that made them eligible to build their own house or to receive their house.
Yeah, exactly. And the camaraderie and the interaction that you have with other volunteers that are partnering with Habitat is just it's a pretty amazing feeling. And getting to work alongside the homeowner candidates, I think, is the most ultimate rewarding piece of the whole program. And so, the average person thinks Habitat builds homes and gives them away. And the families we partner with purchase the Habitat home from us with a zero interest mortgage. And that's what keeps it affordable for the duration of the loan.
Zero interest mortgage. Can you go a little deeper on that? So it's a zero interest mortgage. Yep. Is the bank giving the fund? How's the mortgage zero interest?
Yeah, so we finance all of the homes that we build. So we'll build about 70 homes this year throughout Pinellas and West Pasco County. through the Habitat program, we provide the mortgage to the family. So it's a zero interest loan. The mortgage payments that go back into building the next Habitat home.
Nice.
And so it's like a revolving fund that's created.
Got it.
In addition to that, we raise community support dollars that help offset, the cost of the houses.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of misconceptions. We thought that, and that's why this show was started almost 7 years ago. We started this show because people don't understand credit and mortgage. We weren't taught credit in school, or those down payment that a lot of people think, oh, I gotta have 20% to get into a home.
Sure,
absolutely not. But if you didn't, by the way, if you just joined us, we're talking with Mike Sutton here. He is the president and CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas and West Pasco counties. So let's talk about that too, because when I mentioned Warwick Dunn, I talk to folks out in the community. I say, yeah, have you seen that show with Warwick Dunn Charities? He's that guy that gives homes away.
Yeah,
they don't give the homes away. They give a lot of their time and effort and energy, and then also the down payment assistance that goes into it. But it's much more complex than just that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the down payment assistance helps the families. These low income families that we partner with. They go through a series of 16 home buyer education classes.
Yeah,
and that really helps them with the credit repair and learning everything they need to know about owning their own home.
Right.
In addition to that, they put in 350 to 450 sweat equity hours.
Wow.
So they're helping to construct these homes alongside of our volunteers.
Yeah.
And then the ultimate payoff is at the end when they receive the keys to that home, and now they're a homeowner. For the first time, we see the key presentation as being symbolic to breaking the cycle of poverty.
Yeah.
Because they're building equity for the very first time in their family.
Yeah.
And so it's hopefully something they can pass down generation to generation.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about the cycle of poverty that we find. I mean, you see it in different economic groups, the socioeconomic ladder. So that's in home is where the heart is. There's all these sayings, and the kitchen is the heart of the home. All those different American dream is part of it. But really, it is because it's like an easy way to save money or to build up equity, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And the great thing about the Habitat program, because of the zero interest mortgage, they're building equity from day one.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
They're the 30-year note. Every dollar that they pay into it is going towards the the principal on that home.
Can they pay it off early?
They can pay it off early. Habitat homeowners can sell their home and recoup the equity that's been built in the house.
Nice.
We rarely see that because replacement costs, and where are you going to get a zero interest mortgage again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Never.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I love that idea, to get families in the homes. The presentation for Warwick Dunn Charities that we documented and kind of filmed for our TV show, the American Dream television show, that was an awesome day. So kind of recapping what we mentioned in the first segment, but that was his 173rd home that he's worked in conjunction with Habitat for Humanity for. Talk about how Habitat works with WDC, Warwick Dunn Charities.
Yeah, so Warwick is a great friend, great partner, and he's done some studies over the years that really show that once a low-income family moves into a new home, that one of the easiest ways to run credit back up or to get into a financial bind is furnishing the home. And so that's where he partners with Habitat. He provides down payment assistance on the house, and then he'll also come in and he furnishes out the house for them. So the house is literally turnkey ready.
Yeah.
So the family moves in, they're set up, and from day one moving into the house. He's done 173 of these across, the Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Baton Rouge area.
Yep.
We do a couple a year with him. He selects the family to partner with. It's typically a single mom. He went through a pretty traumatic situation with his mother being shot as a police officer in Baton Rouge and losing her life. And he helped raise his brothers and sisters with his grandmother's help. And so this is a way for him to honor her legacy. And when I talk about the fact that he furnishes out this house, I mean, he doesn't leave one thing left unturned. And his grandmother's favorite is an apple pie. So he puts a warm apple pie right on the dining room table for them to move in.
That was super awesome. Awesome.
It's an amazing
Aaron's
experience.
is involved too. Aaron's rents. So they had a lot of the electronics, the lawn equipment, like you said, nothing's left.
Yeah, all they have to do is bring their clothes and they're ready to move in. So they do a beautiful, job of getting that all ready for the families.
That's perfect.
You know, one of the things, Mike, we've talked about over the years on the show as well is the lack of affordable housing.
Yeah.
So lack of affordable housing. In yesterday's show, we talked about how although we have the lowest number of unemployment at an all-time low for all ethnic groups. That's one of the things we talk about. But you find that the jobs are less paying. It's one of the studies showed $19,000 paying a year for jobs. So that leads to affordable housing. And then a lot of the housing, of course, in Pinellas County, one of the most densely, or if not the most densely populated county in the state of Florida.
Southeastern United States now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. Talk to those challenges.
Yeah. The underemployment situation, I think, is what really kind of resonates with the folks that we serve. Because we're such a large tourism community, we rely a lot on the employees that work at the hotels and the restaurants in Pinellas County. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's becoming harder and harder for them to stay and live in Pinellas County. So we see them moving to Pasco County or Manatee or surrounding areas, and then having to drive into work. That's become a big challenge for families. We're also seeing police officers, teacher aides, home healthcare workers. They're struggling to make ends meet in Pinellas County as well. So, Habitat is just one solution, but we're able to provide them with that zero interest mortgage, hopefully keeping that payment affordable where they can continue to live and work, close and also keep their kids in school and not have to displace them. The average family that we serve, we see move, typically 2 to 3 times a year on average.
Wow.
And so the stability that a home brings to a family, self-confidence, self-awareness, long-term stability and sustainability for that family is huge.
Big time. Yeah, that's a big thing for adolescents. I can imagine, transferring schools so many times. You hear about the military families. So if you're out there listening, driving around, or maybe watching our show, if you would like to get involved, we've got the website here at habitatpinellas.org, habitatpinellas.org. And you can also reach Mike Sutton. He's the president and chief executive officer at M Sutton. That's Sutton, M Sutton at habitatpinellas.org, and of course, if you're driving, you remember our show, just consumerqb.com. Submit an email form there. We'll get you in touch. And again, it's a monetary donation, it's a time donation, some work hours, some sweat equity, and help out. Be a force for good in the community, like we always talk about here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors here in our lightning round. We're going to have some top tips, nuggets of advice, and parting words of wisdom. But we also have our feel-good story of the day. A church pays off $7.8 million in medical debt for nearly 6,000 families, right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember it.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and saved them.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination.
Well,
connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to...
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back their rights. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
You're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate business, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. This segment is brought to you by Infinity Medical Institute, a longtime friends of the program here, and they are over 10 years in business at Infinity Medical Institute, and they have successfully treated over 40,000 patients. They are the leading experts in bio-natural hormone replacement therapy here in Tampa Bay on West Shore Boulevard. They offer low T therapy, weight loss plans, cosmetic services such as Botox, improved sexual wellness, and increased energy. Check out our friends at Infinity Medical Institute. Check them out online, infinitymedicalinstitute.com. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got a couple of hot listings here. This one is in Oldsmar at 706 Wellington Court, Oldsmar, and this is a great opportunity to own a beautiful new home, just a gorgeous property, great floor plan, 4 bedrooms. You got a media room upstairs, 4 baths, 3-car garage, solar on the roof already, so it's a great opportunity, turnkey opportunity here. Split floor plan provides privacy, and the owner suite is completely with an ensuite there and a bathroom and a garden tub. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.com. And every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, a church in Indiana paid off nearly $8 million in medical debt for thousands of families across the state. Northview Church teamed up with RIP Medical Debt, an organization that negotiates with hospitals and doctors to purchase debt at pennies on the dollar, and leveraged more than $40,000 in donations to wipe out $7.8 million in medical bills. Quote, the debt is then paid off forever with no adverse consequences to those who benefit, a Northwest Church said in a statement. 5,940 families in the state of Indiana are now debt-free of medical debt. And this is, quote, this is a great example of churches meeting people's needs in practical ways, a demonstration of God's love, said Senior Pastor Steve Poe. Feel good story right there. That's pennies on the dollar.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah, pennies on the dollar there. All right, let's jump into our lightning round here. We got our top tips, nuggets of advice, and words of wisdom here in our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning round.
All right, here we go. Mary Surnicki, Suncoast Roofing. Top tips.
So I would definitely choose a licensed contractor for all of your roofing needs. Even though you could have a handyman come out and might be able to do like a 2 or 3 square repair, anything over 1 square in the industry in most municipalities needs a permit. So you don't want anyone to talk you into pulling your own permit. You want to have a licensed contractor out there that's insured and that can, because your home is your biggest investment, and you don't want someone messing with the roof of it.
Absolutely, because it can lead to so much more problems afterwards. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
Well, in the sales industry, they always mention keep it simple. I don't agree with that in the construction industry. I believe that anybody who's bidding out any type of job, homeowners, please ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
It even makes it easier for the consultant. as myself. When I have a customer that has a list of questions, when I walk into the room, I know that I've got a very good customer going into the job. That way, there's no surprises on the back end. There's nothing worse in construction than a surprise on the back end.
Absolutely.
So we suggest they ask a lot of questions, and Tampa Screens and Aluminum, in my opinion, is a very well-oiled machine as far as a company goes. And everybody with our business is willing to answer any questions that the consumer would have going into the project.
I love it. The consultative approach, educational approach from Fred Muth. All right, Mike Sutton, Habitat for Humanity.
I think with the holidays upon us, find a way to give back to the community, get involved, find some time to donate. There's so many amazing charities in our community that need help.
Yep.
I'm a little biased when it comes to Habitat for Humanity, but there's ways to help others in our community that are hurting, and I think it's upon all of us to find a way to step up and support our fellow brothers and sisters in the community.
Absolutely. It's a great cause, Habitat for Humanity. And I'm going to talk about the SMART goal setting. So Paul J. Meyer he created this program called SMART goal setting. So it's this time of year, everybody's getting ready to set their goals, or maybe you've already set your goals a little bit early, but it's a SMART method. So it's an acronym based on SMART. So S stands for specific. Every goal should be detailed and specific and precise. M stands for measurable. Each goal should be trackable, measurable. That way you can break it down. You can look at it, look back at it over time and see how far you've come. A is going to stand for action oriented. So it's a result that you want to obtain from the goal. So what's the action that you're going to take to receive that goal? R is for realistic and relevant. So enough to challenge you, but within reach. You should never choose a goal that sets you up for failure, but it can also be helpful to choose a goal that you're going to be able to reach at some point that's going to help your self-esteem. And T is going to stand for time-based goals. You should always have a time base on these goals. And it's okay if you don't do it in a certain time, just reset the clock and start over again. But at least you have that goal there. So the idea is to create an action plan for your goal setting. And that's something that's going to be clearly defined and measurable and trackable. And think of it as the ladder, right? So you get a ladder. It's each rung you go up is another step on that ladder that you've been able to reach. And find a friend that's going to help you with that. Find a friend, find a mentor. There's lots of resources now. So the only thing is lack of resourcefulness. It's not the only excuse is lack of resourcefulness, not lack of resources. There's lots of resources available. If you have an internet connection, you've got no excuses. All right, let's do another round here of top tips, nuggets of advice. Mary Surnicki, Suncoast Roofing. Got any other ideas or tips or anything else you want to add?
Yeah, make sure that if you're going with a company that you're getting estimates, and make sure that they're free estimates. Make sure that they're not charging you for that, and make sure that you have those questions that you want to ask about your roof, and you want to ask as much as possible. And if they have to come out 2 or 3 times to meet your need, then that's what needs to happen. You know, never feel forced into signing with somebody that you're not ready to.
And what about deposits too? Because that's what we see in those hurricane situations. A lot of times they ask for a 50% deposit. What's the average?
Don't do that. Yeah.
What's the average?
So we just get $1,000 down, and then the rest of the roof is if it's tile or metal, we'll ask 40%. We'll ask for 40% upon delivery, like the start of our job, and then the rest is done upon completion. But for a single job, $1,000 deposit, and the rest is done upon completion.
Nice. That's good. That's a good measurable. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens.
There's a lot of very talented, we call them ham and eggers out there building screen rooms, and they're good, but a lot of them don't pull permits, and you have to be careful as a consumer, because if the job is built without a permit and you try to sell the home, for example, at a later date, in most cases that enclosure will come down before the sale commences. So be careful. Check the licenses. I in the many years I've been doing this, I actually ran into a guy, handed me a business card, an aluminum guy, and he had my company's license number on his card.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
All I did was laugh. That's all I could do,
Oh man.
That's what goes on.
We just had a property, or we've had a property in the past where we had it under contract, ready to go to closing, and oops, the garage didn't have a permit pulled. So it blows the value on the deal.
That's right.
Buyer walks back on the market.
So how many of your closings are held up? You probably have a portfolio of them that are held up for mother-in-law suites that were not permitted, screen rooms that were not. I went out on one the other day. a guy said he bought the house and the cage was down. I don't know why. I said, I know why, because they took it down because they didn't pull a permit initially.
Yeah.
That's why. But you see, they don't realize this.
Yeah, it's shortcuts that aren't really that short. It's
That's
ends up
correct.
being a long cut. All right, Mike Sutton, Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little plug here for my fellow panelists over here.
Yeah.
I think when you're looking for a contractor in our community, think local. And definitely give the folks that call Tampa Bay home the opportunity to look at your project and bid on your project. So companies like Suncoast Roofing and Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, no problem. Just make a donation to Habitat.
I'll bring my hammer.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the idea. The idea of the show is, we always say, think of the show as the hub of your financial, your business wheel, your health wheel, all those spokes extending out, representing another one of our expert contributors, the folks that come, they come into the show, they serve as a consumer advocate, they're keeping the money local, it's going to the local, charitable organizations, local businesses, back into the community. We see it so many times, especially these hedge fund buyers in real estate. They're out of state, they're coming in, they're making lowball offers on real estate, and it's a convenience factor, I get it, but there's local people that will buy your house as well, rather than some of these big local companies that you see. So, hey, another great show today. I want to thank our expert contributors here, Mary Surnicki, Suncoast Roofing, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Mike Sutton as well, Habitat for Humanity, Pinellas and West Pasco counties. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Do something kind for one another. Multiple ways to get involved. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.